Yes, you can wear these and you don't have to go hiking. French brand Salomon has come a long way over the last several years after previously having a reputation as strictly a brand for outdoor activities. And 2024 has been the biggest year for the brand by far. Not only did their stock go public, they also had a Super Bowl commercial for the first time showing how far the brand has grown in North America. Now you might be new to Salomon, you've never worn any of their shoes and you're wondering which is the best pair to get for you. Well, in this video I will be comparing the most popular Salomon lifestyle sneakers, telling you what's different about them, how they fit, and hopefully you can decide which is the pair you like the most. So first of all, I wanted to preface this video by saying I will be talking about Salomon's lifestyle models only in this video. If you wanted a detailed review talking about which are the best Salomon sneakers for hiking or trail running, I will not be covering that in this video. So first of all, we're gonna have to talk about two sneakers at the same time, and that is the Salomon XT6 and the XT4. And I'll be honest, there's a lot more similarities between these shoes than there are differences. The XT4 retails for a slightly more expensive price of $220 US or 185 euros, whereas the XT6 retails for $200 or 180 euros. And both of these shoes have very similar materials and uppers. The upper on both these sneakers are made out of mesh, but they have TPU as well, which has been welded into the upper in this very unique pattern. Both the sneakers also feature the same technology on the outsole. This is the Contra Grip technology, which is what you need if you are in fact using these sneakers for trail running, which was the original purposes of these shoes. There is some minor differences in the design of the upper, especially when it comes to the positioning of the branding. On the XT4, you can see the Salomon branding done in a much bigger font on the back half of the shoe, whereas on the XT6, it's in a much smaller font and it's closer to the heel. Additionally, the XT4 also features the Salomon Lab branding on the toe, but to be honest, there's really only one main difference that you should be caring about when talking about these shoes, and that is that the XT6 is a slimmer model and the XT4 is more bulkier. So which one is better? Well, that really depends on your preference. If you go with the XT6, then your pants are likely going to be covering more of the shoe, especially if you wear some baggier pants. You'll notice that the pants almost swallow the back half of the shoe, which is quite a different look when compared to the XT4. So here I am wearing the same pair of pants. First I wear it on the XT6. You'll notice that you can't really even see the back half of the shoe. The pants are completely draping over it. And when I wear the same pants on the XT4, you'll notice that the pants kind of stack on top of the shoe. So that's the type of visual effect you'll get when you wear the XT4 because it is a bulkier model. So if you prefer the way that looks, you like the look of your pants stacking on top of the shoe, then you probably want to go for the XT4 model. Let me know in the comments, do you guys prefer the look on the XT4 with pants or on the XT6? Another difference between these shoes is the colorways. At least in recent years, it seems that on the XT6, you're getting colorways that are just a lot more easier to wear. They're just a much more cleaner, sometimes quite tonal looking as well. And there's been some absolutely incredible pairs, such as the Recut pack from last year, which is where this pair actually came from. This is the Ren Kangaroo colorway, which to this day is still my favorite colorway of the XT6. Additionally, last year we had a collaboration with End Clothing that gave us two of the nicest colorways we have seen on this model. So if you're new to Salomon, well, the XT6 is probably the least intimidating of the two shoes, simply because the tones are much more muted. They're just a lot easier to wear with most outfits. These even come in an all over black and all over white version, which do tend to sell out quite quickly. And another thing with the XT6 is that these also do come in Gore-Tex versions. There's several different Gore-Tex colorways. I have one of them. They're great. They're my go-to shoe to wear in the wet weather on rainy days. It keeps my socks from getting wet, and also I might add there's some pretty nice looking colorways. Meanwhile, the XT4 typically comes in much louder colorways, and oftentimes they feature tie-dye patterns or like an ombre design where one color fades into another. There are definitely some statement sneakers. The pair that I have right here is a pretty good example of two colorways fading into each other. You got this gray at the front which fades into a red, although you can also get the XT4 in some more neutral colors like black and white. Also, if you're new to the brand, you'll notice one other big difference with these shoes compared to most other sneakers from other big brands like Nike and Adidas, and that is the lacing system. Salomon has this quick lace system which you'll see on pretty much all their shoes. Pull on the pull tab to tighten it however tight you want. I also think it looks pretty cool, and by the way, if you just don't like the look of with these laces hanging out like that. Do know that both the XT6 and the XT4 actually come with this little pocket, which gives you the option to in fact hide the laces. Personally, to be honest, I do just leave them out. And when it comes to sizing on both the XT6 and the XT4, they are some pretty narrow shoes. So for me, I always go a half size up in both these sneakers. My true size is a US 11, and just to give you guys some reference, I wear a US 11 in pretty much all Nike sneakers, Jordan 1s, Jordan 4s. That's also the same size I wear in most New Balance shoes as well. However, in the XT6 and the XT4, I go up half a size to a US 11.5. However, I would suggest you guys to actually try on the shoes for yourself and find your perfect size. But my advice, of course, is go half a size up. When it comes to personal preference, I do prefer the colorways on the XT6 a lot better, and I do own several pairs myself. However, I do like the shape of the XT4 better. I think the slightly bulkier shape does look good, but do let me know in the comments which of these two do you guys prefer. And the last shoe I will be discussing is the Salomon ACS Pro Advanced. These retail for a slightly higher retail price of $230 or 200 euros. And as you can tell, this sneaker looks completely different than the first two. You get very different materials and they fit completely different as well. The sneaker is also slightly heavier than the XT6 and the XT4, however, you won't really feel that on feet. And from a looks perspective, these are kind of futuristic looking. They feature these metallic silver eyelets here that are pretty shiny. The shoes also feel a bit more robust, a bit more heavy duty. You'll notice along the toe area, there are these rectangular pads which are there for your protection. You also get the same lacing system on the shoe, which does work pretty well on here as well. One thing that is different about these is that the pocket where the laces are supposed to be hidden, on the ACS Pro Advanced, it in fact has Velcro on it. So it's much more obvious about the fact that you are supposed to be hiding your laces in that pocket. The middle section of the shoe is actually transparent. So if you're the type of person who loves to wear funky socks, some bright socks, you'll definitely be able to see that through the shoe. You also get two loops at the back, which is quite interesting. You can use both of them to slide in your feet pretty easily. And as far as how these feel on feet, I have to say that the ACS Pro Advanced is a lot more comfier on feet than the XT6 and the XT4, and that is because there is a bit of EVA foam, so it just has much more of a cushiony feeling. And I didn't mention this earlier, but that is the biggest disadvantage with the XT4 and the XT6, is that the midsole is quite firm, so there's pretty much no cushioning at all with this shoe. However, the ACS are pretty comfortable. In fact, I actually do wear this shoe to the gym quite often. And for sizing on the ACS, they are much more of a wider shoe. So for me, I actually am very comfortable going with my true size in this pair, which is a US 11. So I am a US 11.5 in the XT6 and the XT4, and a US 11 on the ACS Pro Advanced. I would say also it's a pretty wide foot friendly shoe. Just overall from a fit and comfort point of view, these definitely win out. Now, of course, guys, as I said at the top of this video, these aren't all of the possible Salomon sneakers out there. I only reviewed 3 models. There's several other popular models as well, like the Speed Cross. However, the 3 sneakers that I did mention in this video are definitely the most popular Salomon lifestyle sneakers, which is what I wanted to cover in this video. Do let me know in the comments if you are planning on buying your first pair of Salomons this year, and which is the model that you will be going for. Leave a comment, let me know. And if you found this video useful at all, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because I'm dropping content like this every single week. And give me a follow on Instagram as well. That's where I am the most active. I respond to pretty much every single DM. And if you're just looking for some listening content, guys, make sure you check out my sneaker podcast, the Kickback Pod, available on Spotify and Apple Music and all other streaming platforms. The links can be found in the description. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.